All right.
Cheese curds make my stomach hurt all the time, but I do eat them though.
Welcome back to Hour 2 with Bo Melton and his cheese curd drop. All right. So next thing up here that we came across on the league today, thought this was cool. Bucky Brooks put his top 10 rankings out there, and so we'll talk about the rankings. But the tweet I put with it was all three of the Green Bay Packers losses this year were to top 5 teams in the NFL. Green Bay faces 2 of those teams again down the final stretch. Make no mistake, the playoffs have already begun in Titletown. Emilio, Detroit number 1, Buffalo number 2, Philadelphia number 3, Kansas City 4, Minnesota 5, and then Green Bay Packers number 6. Isn't it wild? And that the Packers basically their 3 losses came from the number 1 team, the number 3 team, and the number 5 team, all top 5 teams. It really says a lot about this Packers team going into the final stretch here.
Yeah, it does. And like Bill Belichick always says, football starts after Thanksgiving. And I think that's really true because, I mean, we looked at the early season and we said, all right, the Lions are going to be kind of tough. Philly, we could probably get the win on. We're not sure about them. You know, Sirianni and Jalen got a button heads. Vikings don't have a quarterback. You know, their team's in shambles. And you look at it, 12 weeks in, and hey, we finally got ourselves etched in that top 10 for good. I think that we were begging for in the beginning of the year, but nobody had faith. And now they actually have to respect it. I think they don't want to put Packers in the top 5 because they don't want to be talking about us that much. But once we do get to show our hand again and go up against, the top 2 of the top 5, I think that's going to be huge. Two of them are in the AFC. We're not going to see them unless we get to the Super Bowl. And we're going to see one of those 2 again if we make a run in the playoffs. So it's not going to be the end. Whoever we play this, or playing against the Vikings and the Lions, it's not going to be the end for one of those teams. I don't think we're going to see them again.
Yeah, definitely. So again, I think I pretty much agree with this top 10 rankings. Outside of that, Pittsburgh at 7, LA Chargers at 8, Denver Broncos at 9, and the Baltimore Ravens at 10. Pittsburgh, man, this might be the year for Pittsburgh. I ain't gonna lie, boys. They're looking good. And Russell Wilson, somebody put a montage together of Sean Payton kind of going off on Russell Wilson all year last year. How cool would it be if it ends up being Pittsburgh and Denver in the playoffs? Sean Payton against Russell Wilson. That would be, man, the storylines are just everywhere. I mean, with Detroit, you got Dan Campbell and this banged-up Detroit Lions team. Are they tough enough? Are they fundamentally sound enough to win the whole thing? The Buffalo Bills, if you didn't see the snow game the other night, was just phenomenal.
Well, can't believe they're getting rid of it. I mean, how many stadiums are we going to take the snow out of? I mean,
and listen, Buffalo, I think Buffalo handled theirs pretty good. They're building their stadium kind of built after the Tottenham Spurs Stadium.
Tottenham Hotspurs, yeah.
And basically what it is, it's still outside, but they are going to cover the stands for the fans. So the fans aren't getting like the elements, but there's still going to be snow falling on the field. I think that's cool. I don't love it. I like the open stadiums, but that's better than a dome, obviously, right? Yeah. So, and you still got Philly that plays outside. Kansas City plays outside. Obviously, Denver does. Pittsburgh does. The Packers always will. Baltimore does. Got a lot of teams here representing that are cold weather teams. Yeah, the Buffalo game was awesome. But Philadelphia, listen, they are built so well up front on both sides of the ball, right? Both offense and defensive line. Kansas City just always figure out a way to win, and it's mainly because of Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, when the game's on the line, he figures out a way to win the football game. There's no two ways about it. Their defense is really what's kept them in it this year, though. Obviously, with Chris Jones and Spags there calling the defense on the opposite side. With Minnesota, are they frauds? This is the time of year they usually turn out to be frauds. Are they this year, right? Aaron Jones all of a sudden got this fumbling issue again, kind of reemerge for Minnesota. We'll see what they can do, right? It's going to be
a little bit of wear and tear.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, man. You kidding me?
A little bit of overusage early in the season. Maybe you should have watched the snap counts like Matt did, sort of thing.
Bingo. But again, the point here with this top 10 is just there's storylines everywhere. It's going to be an awesome playoff run. There's no two ways about it. See, Ron Samble said, I got a concussion on a kickoff, went to the wrong sideline, sent me to my sideline and told me I couldn't go back in unless I could count backwards from 100 by sevens. I still can't go back in. So
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
And Ron's still in concussion protocol for 42 years. I love it. All right, let's
We
move
used
it
to
on.
do for me. It was you got to remember like a fruit, a month, and something else. Like what was the date of? Give me a fruit and a month, and then you have to remember it for I don't know 5 or 10 minutes, and then bam, if you ace those 3 things, just sit there repeating them to yourself. Good to go. We're back in there.
No doubt. So next thing, injury report here, just a little update. I tweeted this out from Dominique Yates, actually put it out on Twitter, says it's Tuesday, but Friday for the Packers. Jair Alexander and Romeo Doubs are practicing for the 3rd straight day. Elton Jenkins is back after a rest day. So the fact that Dominique Yates specifically said rest day makes me feel a lot better about Elton Jenkins. We talked about last night, Amelia. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to the pod, but he was listed as veteran rest plus a knee. And in the past, sometimes you get down the report, sometimes you don't. There were some of the beat reporters that were talking about the knee kind of got added. Is he going to go? That type of thing. It sounds like with him being back, he's going to be good to go there. So that's going to be huge to have him back. And then Adrian Cooper with the hamstring and Corey Ballantyne with the knee are on the sideline, so they did not practice. I feel like Adrian Cooper's not going to play this week. Do you agree with that?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. If they're not out there, because this would have been their Friday.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, if he's not playing on Friday, it's a wrap for him. Just take him out, man. Let him recoup. We need him for later on in the year anyway. We were happy with McDuffie the way he played. Quay's been getting better. Maybe once Quay and Coop both get back on there and they're both humming, we'd be in good shape. But let Quay keep growing, keep getting his numbers right, and get reps in there. Maybe Hopper gets a poke.
Yeah, there you go. And I tweeted out moment of silence. Fox Sports NFL tweeted out after the first 13 weeks of the season, 4 teams have been eliminated from playoff contention: the New York Giants, the Las Vegas Raiders, the New England Patriots, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. So moment of silence, Emilio, for the 4 teams that have been eliminated in week 13.
Still should have listened to your son and what he wanted to draft.
Still should have.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. And Hard Knocks starts tonight too, man. AFC North Hard Knocks in season. Gonna be good. The intro or the commercial they use with Mike Tomlin, it looks like fire, man. It's gonna be awesome, especially with those AFC North teams playing pretty good there in Baltimore and Pittsburgh. So it'll also be kind of cool to see behind the scenes with the Cincinnati Bengals with their struggles, right? Because Joe Burrow looks so frustrated, man. And if I remember correctly, they chose not to extend Jamar Chase, so there's a little bit of conflict there. I'm really excited to go through that in-season stuff for sure.
Do you think Tay's happy he's not eliminated yet?
I'd say so, yeah. So this one right here cracked me up. Andy Herman had tweeted us out. He said, "Kudos to Bill Huber." Now you see, I got the kid here gagging like, "Oh boy, that's bad, right?"
That one's coming up.
Kudos to Bill Huber for bringing this statistic to my attention last week. But Eric Stokes has played 999 snaps over the past 3 seasons and has 0 interceptions and 0 pass breakups. I'm going to say that again. Emilio. He has played 1 snap shy of 1,000 snaps, and he hasn't gotten his hand on 1 football. That is crazy. That's nuts. Am I losing my mind here, bro? Like you play cornerback in the NFL. And you've played 1,000 snaps, and you haven't gotten a hand on a football in the last 1,000 snaps.
How about these hands?
Exactly.
Larry walked in there and said, "Man, you got to get a hand on it."
Here, you want to borrow my pinky? Swing that thing out there.
That's brutal. That's pretty bad. I didn't know that.
So bad. He said he has 3 penalties, 6 touchdowns allowed, and his passer ratings by year are this year 106.3. You think, man, that's bad, right? Wait, there's more. 2023, it was 152.9. And in 2022, it was 125.8. The Eric Stokes experiment is over, right? Like this is really bad, man. As AFAM said, that's the most brutal stat I've ever heard. I have never heard of a player going 1,000 snaps without touching a football, man. That's just crazy.
That's like the thousands, that's like the 1,200 snaps that Josh Jacobs had and hadn't scored a receiving touchdown. But I mean, he's done everything else, been a rushing leader, all that. That is brutal. You can't even get a hand on the ball.
Yeah. Definitely. I like what Paul Stevens said in the comments there too. This just means he's due, right?
Yeah, he's going to have a game.
So again, that's the reason for the nausea video there from the little kid. I was like, boy, that's bad. That's bad news. So here we go. John in the chat. Stokes getting a pick 6 to 7. How hilarious. How hilarious would that be? If he
Hey,
just goes,
maybe it's good luck. Maybe we bring it up, talk about it. And John, wishing good luck on Stokes here.
yeah, hey, maybe so, man. We'll see. All right.
There, you know, looking at the bright side.
What
But he has his rating has improved this year.
It's fun. It's
From the other two. I mean, not from just last year, the 152, from the year before. We get him under 100. I think we're cooking.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Oh, first round pick too. Just there you go. Dennis Shook, just like Savage last year. It really. Now, listen, they didn't pick up the 5th-year option on Stokes, so maybe we kind of learned our lesson there, right? Emilio, you remember? Am I losing my mind? Or when we went into the draft process and we, obviously do a show all year long, and we try to kind of walk through and go, okay, what are our top needs? Wasn't cornerback one of our top needs? Like we drafted 3 cornerbacks every draft.
I would say that's basically what we based our entire draft on. I think that if we didn't get a corner, a D-line maybe in the first round, the draft was a bust, man. How many of those did we go through saying, all right, we need Terry Nardo, we need Cooper, we need somebody. Quinyon's not going to make it. We need somebody to strengthen up this secondary.
Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. It really is.
Because we're going to go right back to it this year, no? I mean, we're not going to – you don't think we're going to hit that well again?
And, I hope they go get a corner and take a swing at D tackle, because you're going to have a little bit of a void there on the defensive line. You need to find your 3 tech of the future, man. I'm not sold on Devontae Wyatt being it. Kenny Clark obviously getting older now, and he is not playing up to par. You've got a solid edge defender in Rashawn Gary. LVN's gotten a sack in his last 2 games, so he's starting to kind of amp it up a little bit. I like Carl Brooks in certain situations, but the statistics and the grades would say, no, he's not the guy. Maybe you go out in free agency and try to find one. Like Christian Wilkins was a free agent this year, someone like that. Now, it's going to take a lot of money to get a true 3 tech, and you've already spent that money on Kenny. So if we're modeling our roster out like we talk about doing on here all the time, your money's already spent on D tackle. So you got to kind of, all right, let's ride with this for a year or two. So that would suggest take a swing in the draft. And it sucks because, again, we went with Jordan Morgan. And listen, Jordan Morgan may end up being a Hall of Fame player when it's all said and done. And we'll all go, hey, it was a great pick. But there were 2 or 3 different solid defensive linemen that were on the board when we drafted, right? And it's like, we don't know what Goody's board looks like, and we're always going to say that, hey, he's forgot more about football than we'll ever know, right, in terms of evaluating players especially. I don't know. It's just it's a little bit frustrating when we go into an offseason and go, man, D tackle and cornerback, top needs. You didn't swing on corner until the 7th round, and that guy didn't make your roster. You end up going to the practice squad. And I don't think – did we swing it all on D tackle at all in the draft? I don't think we did we? So, anyway, Dead Fish, let's do a mock draft. Let's not. All right. You're going to see the subs go down real quick if we start mock draft early. It's going to happen. All right, let's do this, man. Let's switch gears, and let's break down a little tape. You want to? That sound good to you, man? All right, so we got about 20 minutes, guys. We're going to go rapid fire here, but that's right. This is a special Chalk Talk edition of PTA here. What we did was we went back and found Chalk Talk from week 9 against the Lions. Now, listen, we can't break these down to the nth degree that we like to, but the way we're going to approach this, if I can get this just right here, is we're just going to run through each of the important plays from that game a couple of different times. Okay, that sound good to you, Emilio?
Let's do it.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of read off, okay, here was the play, the situation, and we're just going to roll through them. This first one came, again, this was week 9. Opening kickoff, first of all, Keyshawn Nixon hit with a 15-yard unsportsmanlike conduct, if you guys remember that. So the first play we're showing is first quarter, 14-17 left. This is a Josh Jacobs 13-yard run. Let's just kind of refresh our memory on how this game went. Obviously a nasty split. We won't get into all the details. It's like a highlight reel, okay? We're just using the Chalk Talk footage to relive this game, all right? So obviously an explosive run on the opening drive there, right? And we'll get the box cam here too. Emilio, add anything you want to add in?
Yeah, the only thing I saw off the bat was, Elton Jenkins kind of getting worked and pushed back off the line. We're going to have Josh Myers this game, right? It's going to be different having our center out there, having our starting line out there. I think that's going to be big for continuity.
That's a great point. I forgot all about that too. I did, that Josh Myers had missed that game. So
because didn't we have a couple missed snaps? We lost that whole drive, right? When Jordan Love had 2 missed snaps and then a bad pass or something.
Yeah, we had a bunch, bro, a bunch, no doubt about it. All right, next play. First quarter, 9:26 left, 2nd and 10 play at Detroit's 28-yard line. It's another explosive run from Josh Jacobs. So what this should tell us on the surface is Josh Jacobs had no problem running the football against this Detroit Lions defense. Guys, they've lost 7 defensive players to IR since this game. So this screams give the ball to Josh Jacobs all day long, man.
And you know what he said? It does not matter. Names, numbers, no faces. That's all the teams are in front of me. I love that.
Nameless, faceless bodies out there, right? That's it. That's Mike Tomlin 101 too in Pittsburgh, by the way. All right, so this is our first defensive play. And this was 2nd and 9 play in the first quarter, 5:18 left at their own 43-yard line. And this was a Montgomery 11-yard run. Let's kind of see what went wrong. We're showing at the bottom here, Wyatt missed tackle, Quay washed out, Wilson missed tackle. The answer is everybody screwed up on this play. As you can see, the cutback, over pursuit, just bad fundamentals, man.
Yep. That's brutal. That's tough. I hate to see it. I mean, they just got gashed on the cutback, really, is all it was.
Yep. And again, we're going to be perfect weather, indoor conditions in the dome, but you see right there, Wyatt with the missed tackle. This is what I'm talking about with a true 3-tech, guys. And I don't mean to pick on Wyatt. Wyatt can be a very, very effective pass rusher, but watch him bust through, shed. Look at that swim move, right?
Yep.
Played it perfect, but just can't make a tackle. That's how it's been since he got in the league, right? So.
And Kenny was back there, but he was already ran himself out of the play.
Yeah, so that was an explosive play that we gave up. Now here is 14:56 left in the second quarter, 4th and go. Keep in mind, we're winning 3-0 on this play. We are winning the game in the second quarter 3-0 at this point, okay? And this is the St. Brown touchdown, and this was Keyshawn Nixon, if I remember correctly. You're going to see cheat motion. They're going to motion over our boy out here, and they're just going to run kind of a back shoulder fade, and Keyshawn does not get his head around the play. He's tracking well. He's in a great position to make the play. He just right here, get your head around.
Yeah, I remember that. They ran it. They ran it once before too. Didn't we have a penalty?
Yeah,
and you saw it because Keyshawn already ran that motion. He already knew it was coming. Man, I'm happy with how Keyshawn's been playing, but no, that one was brutal. I remember. You got to spin your head around. You're running out of real estate at some point.
Yeah, that's his weak spot, no doubt about it, man. His weak spot is tracking the ball and man.
Didn't we have and not someone in the chat was saying, give Stokes a break, cutting on him because of his leg. I get that. No, I definitely dude's come back from that kind of gruesome injury. It was brutal. Went back and watched it. Ugly. I'm happy for him. But yeah, that was Stokes' problem too. Getting your head around trying to track the ball when it's even deep downfield. Something we just need to work on, I think.
Yeah. Second quarter, 14:49 left, 1st and 10 play from our own 24. This is Josh Jacobs' 37-yard run. Josh Jacobs, before we threw the pick 6 and went down early like that in the first half or right before halftime, Josh Jacobs was running very, very hard. Keep in mind, too, Jordan Love was banged up in this game. Elton Jenkins was had to play center, like Emilio pointed out.
Yep. And Jordan Morgan was playing left guard.
Look at this run. Let's go.
We can do that. We can do that with our normal line. That's not a problem.
Yep.
That ain't no problem.
Ain't no problem. Hit it for him, Amelia. I know you got access to it.
I know I got access to the board.
Don't be holding out over there, man. Let's make this fun. Hit all the soundboards you want during this.
But look, Anzalone, step up.
Mm-hmm.
Tucker Kraft ate him up. Ate his lunch. Tucker Kraft. Whose lunch are you gonna eat this week? Is the question.
Yep. Tucker Kraft going to get in here and seal this off, and Ben Sims is going to pancake this cat right here, right? If I remember correctly. Look at that. Let's go.
That ain't no problem.
Well,
Great run there, obviously, by Josh Jacobs for
I think right after that, get to the line, handing the ball right real quick. I would like to see Matt sprinkle in a little bit more tempo here and there. Let's catch them on their heels. Because the Bucs got up to a lead when they played them and got that win. I think that's an opportunity for us.
Yeah. So check this out. You got that 37-yard run, right?
Right.
Then we had 2 offensive penalties
Yeah.
and had to punt. So we're still losing 7-3, right?
I think that's what Mike asked Jordan the other day at his locker was, what if you were to pick something that this team has improved on since the last time you played them, what is it? And I think he was saying, pre-snap kind of penalties, putting ourselves in better situations and not making the dumb or silly mistakes kind of stuff.
Yeah. So second quarter, 10:57 left. This is a 2nd and 6 play from their own 24-yard line. Detroit's leading 7-3, right? Like, we need to stop here. 2nd and 6. Rashawn Gary with the run stuff. Let's watch him. He should be, I think he's wide. Yeah, wide 9 right here. Let's watch the run stuff as Gary gets in the back. I think it was McDuffie back there with him as well. You see Gary right there grabbing a hold of McDuffie there is too. So great run stuff right on 2nd and 6. Huge play for the defense. We'll let it run one more time here with the end zone cam. And then we're going to get to a 3rd and 4 play, the very next play, where Rashawn Gary gets a sack. So you get the run stuff on 2nd and 6 from Gary.
Yep.
And then the very next play, Rashawn Gary gets a sack on 3rd and 4. Let's watch it here. It's a cover 1 man mock drop. And Gary just going to, literally bull rush the tackle all the way back into the quarterback. That's the play, too, where Brenton Cox Jr.'s guy, I think that was him, or maybe it was Mosby. Who's 53? That's Mosby, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll notice the tackle gets tripped here, right?
Right. Yep.
Right out of the gate, you see he trips over his guard's leg, right?
He slipped.
Yep. And listen, kudos to Mosby for taking advantage. But I just love this straight arm rush. You see the arms extended. You got this guy after he tripped. He's way over out front of his skis, you should say. Look at Gary's lean right here with this bull rush, man. Just straight back into the QB. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
So huge play there to get off the field. You're sitting pretty. You're like, okay, I remember thinking at this point, we can play with these guys. We can play, right? So you get that sack, right? Detroit got 2 penalties on the same play, okay? We went 30 yards, and we missed the field goal, if I remember correctly. Or was that Detroit's ball that happened? I think it was us, yeah.
Because we still had
there's 2 Detroit penalties that got us down the field, is right. And then it equated 30 yards. I think it was a pass interference. Then I think that might have been the Bo Melton play. Was that the Bo Melton play? It was somebody that I think somebody got ejected maybe or something. I can't remember. It's all right. But I know there was 30 yards in penalties, and then we ended up missing the field goal. So Detroit still leads 7-3, right? Again, bad conditions with
red
the
zone opportunities too. I mean, in 3rd, 4th down, I think that's something that we've improved on, but definitely red zone opportunities we need to close in on, and I think that was an issue that game too.
Yeah, definitely. There it is. Branch. Professor Cake says Brian Branch got ejected.
That's right.
So
because he had his mouth guard on the top of his helmet, a little alfalfa thing, because he wanted to put a green mouth guard in for the Packers and all that,
Yeah, all that cute stuff. John in the chat says Rashawn Gary owns Decker. What's crazy is it's sounding like Decker is not going to play. That's the latest what we've heard there too. So that's great news for the Packers as well. Second quarter, 5:23 left, 1st and 10 from their own 36. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown for 26 yards. We're playing 4-3 under Tampa 2 Mike. So the Mike is going to play Tampa 2 on this play. And you see they're going to just hammer that dig. It's almost like a choice route, like a dig sit underneath. And Amon-Ra St. Brown finding the safe side. I don't have a problem with that play. I know it's explosive, but when you play Tampa, when they read Tampa, that's where you hit it at right there. You walk the mock out with the 2 or the 3, and then you hammer the dig underneath, or in this case, a dig sit. You know how he kind of sits down in that zone.
Because you don't love that there's Bullard, Quay, and your X back there all the way deep, and then have that dig underneath. That's kind of tough.
Yeah. So now you're hanging on. You're hanging tough here, right? Second quarter, 1:07 left. 2nd and goal play at Green Bay 7-yard line. Guess what you get? Another Rashawn Gary stuff. Look at Gary on the bottom of the screen down here, getting in. Bang.
Here's the guy.
Gary, I don't know what it is about Detroit, but Rashawn Gary shows up to play every single time, man. And you see McDuffie too, man. McDuffie's going to get a lot of snaps in this game. He's coming off arguably his best game of his career. I think he's going to be ready to go too. Look at McDuffie getting the back right there. Yeah. Split the gap, and then Gary just throwing his dude to the side, making the tackle. Great play there. So another run stuff by Gary and McDuffie, the dynamic duo. So we held Detroit to a field goal there. It's 10-3. Like, think of everything that's gone wrong to this point, and we're down by a touchdown. That's crazy, right?
Yep.
Well, here's the play where it goes off the rails. Second quarter, 2nd and 2 play from your own 38. This is the Love pick 6. The play call was 11 gun tray left, 5-16 slot climb T safe. Let's draw that out since this was like the most crucial part of the game, the most important play. So with 5-16, we're just calling out the numerical code for the route tree here. So with the 5, it's going to be a Z out. Okay, so he's going to run an out route. All right. The Y is going to run a flat, okay, like this. All right. I don't think there's any motion here, right? And the X is going to run a dig, okay? So we're going to get a dig here, if I remember correctly. And the slot is going to climb. So what you're doing is you're trying to run a strike concept. It's kind of like strike, but you got to dig, so it's really not strike. I don't like the play call here, Emilio. Like, I know you somewhat spread it out, but where's the slam dunk go-to play right here? And the T is staying safe. I don't think the T was even supposed to go out in the route. I think he's just blocking right here. But we're going to roll it here and show you what went wrong on this play. Love is going to kind of immediately feel pressure, and he's going to roll right. Now look at this play call. Love's got an answer right here, right? You can go to the flat with Tucker and get out of bounds. You'll probably, honestly, if he catches that ball, you're probably out at about the 50 with the first down. The clock stops, right? So with the play call and the decision to get aggressive before halftime, it's probably more on Jordan than it is LaFleur in his decision, to be honest with you. Now you see he gets pressured. Still not pressured enough that he couldn't have dumped it to Tucker. Now, if he doesn't get pressured, however, this is coming open, boys, right? It's going to be there. There's no doubt about it with that climb there. I mean, look at he is butt naked through the trailer park.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know that's what Jordan was looking at. He knew that it was going to open up. I think now Jordan, though, because he's run into this problem a couple of times, I think he's been a lot more apt the past couple of games to just get it to Tuck, take your yardage and go. This right here is, I'm sitting in the pocket in Madden and I'm going to hold the right trigger because I know that shot's opening up. You know what I mean? And you think you can get away from them. You think you can. And by the time they get there, it's over. You're not moving fast enough. You got no acceleration. And, yeah, man, it's take that easy look right here. Bang it to him.
And look, it's kind of a loop blitz, right? You've got Anzalone's going to come around. Mm-hmm. So Elton's already engaged. He's looping around. And Jordan Morgan, like you got to do it, but you can't just hit him in the chest like that. You got to put yourself between him and the quarterback, right? You got to kick back in there and try to absorb that. Really, him getting contact is the reason that Anzalone was kind of thrown back into Jordan.
He squared it back up.
Yeah.
And that's, remember, we're not going to have Morgan in there. Not that not that we're mad at Morgan. I think he still had a decent game that game, but put Elton back at left guard. Let's run the ball up the left side. Let's run the ball up the right side and protect our quarterback, build that wall around him like we're used to.
Yeah. As Deadfish says, I think the Y was open. He absolutely was. No doubt about it, man. Again, it's easy for us to say, right? We're sitting in here in the comfort of our home without
definitely
seven.
But I do think he's been more apt to take those checkdowns a lot more now. And, because it'll open up. Eventually, they're going to have a bust. Eventually, you're going to have a clean enough pocket to drop it in there. Take that right now because he was looking that way.
And the thing that gets me is this was definitely a T safe. This wasn't T leak. And what I mean by that is on a T leak, Jacobs is looking to block and then get out here, right, in a pass route.
Mm-hmm.
But what you see is Josh Jacobs blocks and he turns his head and is looking back. Like he's not even looking to get the ball. Watch. This is why I think it truly is safe. Bang.
Yeah,
you see, like right here,
my man.
He would be out in the route right now if that was the case. Now, right here, he's like, oh, crap, Jordan's in trouble. And Jordan tries to improvise, right? Now, here's the problem with throwing that. Even if it makes it to Jacobs, he's about to get lit up as soon as he turns back upfield, right? Mm-hmm. So you just got to chuck that ball away, man. You do. So, and again, we don't want to harp on all the negative. It's just the point that this play right here lost you the turnover differential and the middle eight. This was the play is the reason you lost the ball game, in my opinion. And that's all it takes sometimes is one play for things to go wrong, and all of a sudden.
I would have rather even him just take the sack there, right? Eat it. Let's run out the clock, whatever. It's you got to live to play the other down. And I know that it's been a problem for him with the playoffs last year, all that. But at some point, that niche is going to kind of get that bump is going to kind of get sanded down a little bit, and I think that's where he's at now in trying to get past those.
Yeah. And so you had a Gibbs 18-yard run. Now we're in the third quarter, 9:32 left, 4th and 1. First of all, Detroit did go down and score the touchdown, obviously, right? So they're up 17-3 now, going into halftime. So you come out of halftime. This is a 4th-and-1 play, and this is a Gibbs touchdown run. So this is the perfect example of them going for it on 4th down, which is something Detroit really likes to do. They love to run on 3rd and long because they're willing to go for it on 4th down. You got to keep that in mind. The play call was nickel 4-2-5, odd, Mike 7, cover 0, Will Strong fire, and 91 gets washed out. He's no longer on the team, obviously. In Preston Smith, 7 playing patty cake. That's Quay. Quay's playing a lot better football now. And 21 just looks scared. I don't mean to pick on Eric Stokes, but watch him on this play. This is like, hey, look, you're going to have to get a stop. You need to get a stop. And look, that just can't happen, bro. And I know he's playing outside contained, but you got to know, I got to get my face in there and try to make a play. It just looked like a business decision. It really did.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, we cannot have those kind of cavities. And I think that Hafley's talked about it. We've really tightened up the run game as of late. I think that we've done well kind of hemming them in. And I think that's something that gets a little bit stronger as the year goes on. You kind of find your gaps, you find your spots, see what the other teams, you can kind of look a little bit more. And, you get a feel for where, Quay is going to be or where Devon, Wyatt's going to be on this rush, on this type of play, kind of thing.
And this, to me, listen, gap assignment here, right?
Yeah.
Gap assignment here. Gap assignment here, I would imagine, right? This is probably, he may be 2 gapping, but my guess is gap assignment here, gap assignment here, gap assignment here, and Bullard's got to fill up on the contain out here, right? So you've got 2 free bodies to make a play. The problem is on a cover 0 blitz, it looks like these guys both go to the same gap, both Xavier McKinney and
that's right. I remember that. That's right. They did gap it. Yeah.
So again, Quay, listen, you're a 1st-round talent. You're the mock backer. You're supposed to be a leader of the defense. You got to attack, man. You're in one gap here. This isn't, hey, let's play patty cake. But at the same time, he was expecting help, right? You see right here, like you got to get off that block and make the tackle. But look at Edgerrin Cooper. You just got too aggressive, man. You called a cover 0 blitz, right? That's what happened. So, and that's how that gap ends up wide open. And again, Stokes had no interest whatsoever in helping for sure.
And I don't think Hafley, I mean, maybe he will. Maybe he's still going to throw some of those blitzes. I think he might tone it back a little bit, get a little bit more sim pressure, mess with Goff a little, and not try to put him in such a predicament running zero man kind of things. Yeah,
for sure. So the next drive, Green Bay would punt again. Then the defense stood tall and forced Detroit to punt. So Detroit's still leading 24-3. This is the 3rd quarter, 5:14 left, 2nd and 6th play from our own 29-yard line. This is Reed on a 32-yarder here. 11 gun, Dubs, strong right, T-weak, F-zipper climb, 89 Y-leak T swing. And this is a big explosive play here. When the game's on the line, think player not play, and that player is Jaden Reed as he continues to run those deep crossers. It was there, man. It was there all day. It's just a matter with the protection.
Well, because you have who was that running them off? You got your the top receiver up there running that streak. It was basically how they beat us with the Tampa 2. We're beating them on this cover 3, with running that streak up and looking for the late window crosser.
Yeah. So
our boy Scoot was right there. I told you, run him off. He's got the speed over the top. Then you're worried about the crosser underneath.
So you had that 32-yarder to Reed, right, with the scoop block. That triples your chances. That explosive triples your chances of scoring on the drive. Unfortunately, it was a field goal. Let me tell you why. 1st down incompletion. Love fumbled. That was the snap we talked about. Love fumbled again the very next snap, and then you had to settle for a field goal. So the whole thing got stalled out with the Elton Jenkins snap, and
that was the one I was talking about. I just want to bring this up real quick. Kenneth Hammond was saying, our center displayed some bad footwork last game. That's true. We've had that problem, with Josh Myers, but I'm right here what Clayton's talking about. Happier that we know the snap's going to be coming back there. And, we've hammered all that stuff out. Let Elton be at left guard and do his thing. And if we have bad footwork, okay. But at least we won't have 3 mishaps on snaps that could have ended up with being real plays.
Yeah. So again, 1st down incompletion, Love fumble, or the bad snap. Field goal makes it 24-6. Defense comes out again, Emilio. Stops them cold. One of the best offenses in the league. Made them punt again. So now we're 4th quarter, 12:30 left, 4th and 5 play from our own 36. Got to go for it, right? It's the 4th quarter. Guess who they go? Think player, not play, right? Actually, this is defense. Hold up a minute. Where do we get a defensive play here?
The one before it, I think.
That one got snuck in on us. It's not on my list.
Just run it.
This is bonus ball. Let's hit it, man. Let's see what this play is. 4-3 under, Sam 7, cover 3. It's not on the list.
Oh, that's right. That was the flea flicker. We ate it up.
Kingsley Enagbare.
But we got to be ready for it. That's what you and Tim were talking about. You got to be ready. You have to be ready for these kind of plays, man. You always have to be ready. Yeah.
Might be Penei Sewell back there, right?
and over, I mean, how you don't see Matt do it a lot, but how often are we going to have overload or offset? I mean, you got 2 tackles on one side, you know, your heavy formation. How many times you gotta pick that out? You got to know where they're going to be on defense. When Bullard was talking in his interview, hey, we got to know where Amon-Ra is. We got to know where Gibbs is. And we have to be, you know, ready for the deep threat down the top. I can't remember Wilson. Yeah. But you gotta be ready for all those guys at any point, and then on top of it, trick plays.
Yeah, definitely. So again, that play right there is what led to the Detroit punt. You come back fourth quarter, 12:30 left, 4th and 5 from your own 36. Got to go for it when the game's on the line. Think player, not play. And once again, that player is Jaden Reed. We're going to go 11 gun, nub right, T-same, RPO F flat, 28 counter. Let's roll it here. RPO F flat. Look at the F. We ran this last game too, man. They love this play right here. Flat with a couple blockers. Remember the Christian Watson block on that last game? This is the same exact play. Basically, ball in the belly. If you like to pre-snap hat count, fire it to the F. Let's see what Jordan does. Actually handed it off, 28 counter, out the backside.
Yeah,
so
here we go.
We are off track big time.
Clayton's chart is got a little coffee spill on it. And
I had a Reed 28-yarder on that. Now, it was an RPO F flat, so I think what I did was I put the wrong name down for the guy who got the ball. Then we got the Enagbare tackle for a loss coming up, unless it's a separate one.
That was the one we just watched.
Right, so we got crossed up here a touch. Got it. All right, cool. So here we are. This might be the Wilson. Is this Wilson? Yeah, this is the Emmanuel Wilson run. Okay, we're back on track. Emmanuel Wilson for 19 yards. So we got crossed up on those plays that were flip-flopped with the Enagbare.
Again, the guy that gets 3 opportunities a game makes something happen with him.
Every single time, man. Every time. Then fourth quarter, 3:49 left, 3rd and 1 from Detroit's 2. Guess who it is, Emilio? It's Emmanuel Wilson. He's just going to jam his thing in here. Again, 11 gun. What same exact look, man. We ran that RPO flat how many times, right?
Dude, real quick, though, that play in college football is an absolute killer. That flat right there and then they got or if the tight end's sitting right behind him and you run the flat, you cannot stop that play.
But
unless you're sitting on it.
If you're playing the CPU on Heisman level, let me tell you something. This guy stays squared up and you throw that flat, my man is going 99 on you.
House call.
Every time. And I couldn't tell you how many times I said some bad words.
Spike the controller.
Nah, it costs too much. But I've said some bad words. But again, Emmanuel Wilson jamming it in there, dude. Obviously, you went to the 2-point conversion to Watson. That's kind of where the game ended at 24-14. But again, Emmanuel Wilson, man, making the best of his opportunities. And I honestly feel like Chris Brooks is playing better football than Emmanuel Wilson right now. And that's saying a lot. It really is. So
because we use Chris Brooks a little bit like a fullback, just a dabble. And I think that they allow him enough to be that blocker, but not, we're not expecting them to clear out a I formation kind of stuff, but we'll sift him across or we'll inside split zone him or something like that.
Yeah, Dennis Shook with the super chat. Appreciate you, pal. He says, what players did we get for 17, 12, and 29? Man, that's a great question.
Well,
Amelia, do you have the answer to that?
Negative. I was going to say,
right?
Write that one down. Do some digging.
Let me see if I can find it real quick, okay? Davante Adams trade. All right, Packers. And
let's just see here. As you're digging, I'll go through the chat here. Randy Cleavers, this game Thursday could turn the season. I think that's very true. All eyes are going to be on us. The whole NFL is going to be watching. That's going to be a killer game because we have a chance to still take the division with a win. And I think that's going to be a huge statement for this young team to go back. You lost to them the first time. All right, cool. They got their punches in. Let's see what we do this game.
All right, here we go. I got it. Davante Adams. Get ready to read another one, okay? So with the Davante Adams trade, it says a blockbuster trade that sent star wide receiver Davante Adams to the Raiders and 2022 first round number 22 and second round picks number 53 to Green Bay. Those picks became starting linebacker Quay Walker at number 22, and the second round pick was a part of a trade package used to draft starting wide receiver Christian Watson. So you used a portion of it to get Watson, and the other pick, the first rounder, you actually got Quay Walker with. So I don't know, man. I think, listen, I'm happy with the way the Davante Adams thing ended up, be honest with you. I don't look back and go, God, what were we thinking? I don't know. Do you agree or disagree with that?
No, I feel the same way. I would much rather have options that rotate each week and keep the teams guessing. It's not like they're going up against a Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson. And the way Tay's been, heading, I feel bad for him, but we're ready to revamp and rejuve. I feel like that he was kind of past that.
I'm trying to look at the Aaron Rodgers trade real quick to see who we ended up with there.
That's going to take some digging. Ron Sandville says, I think we need to pressure him to win. Watch the Houston game where they got 5 picks. That's so true. He's not comfortable in the pocket. You've seen him. Even when he tries to step up and get out, dude will just get down and give up. You know what I mean? He'll just kind of curl up and he doesn't want to get hit kind of thing. So I think that's going to be a key to the defense.
I got the Aaron Rodgers one. So the Packers receive 2023 first-round pick that ended up being Lucas Van Ness, a second-round pick that ended up being Luke Musgrave, and a sixth-round pick that ended up being Anders Carlson.
Bang!
I don't mean to laugh. And instead of 2024 second-round pick traded down to select Edgerrin Cooper and safety Evan Williams and offensive line Jacob Monk. All right, so there you go, trading back with that pick. You turned it into that. The Jets ended up receiving Aaron Rodgers, plus the first-round pick ended up being Will McDonald for them. And then, of course, they took a fifth-round cornerback, I believe. So there's that one. Now, what's the 29? Is that Rasul Douglas?
Yes.
All right. Go ahead. Keep on talking, Amelia.
Okay, back to the chat. Let's see. Who names the plays? That would be Clayton names the plays.
Be careful.
Ron again said, watch the PFF guys today. They said that Matt ran a version of the same pass play 18 times in the Lions game. No idea if he knows what he's talking about, but I think that's the Matt's basic, fundamentals of the illusion of complexity. We can run the same play out of 15 different sets with 8 different, combinations of players. I think that's what really helps us set us apart, because you could put it on tape maybe week 1. You're not going to use it again until week 13 with that set of players, that formation, that part of the field, that down and distance. I think that's a great point.
Yeah.
29. Oh, I think Prince has it here. 29 is Hopper. That's the easy one.
Third-round pick, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's what we're coming up with. We traded Rasul Douglas in the 5th-round pick to the Bills for that 3rd-round pick. So we gave up Rasul Douglas in the 5th-round pick for Tyron Hopper. Listen, I'm not like over the moon with those trades. Like, oh, yeah, boy, we fleeced them. But, again, other than Rasul, I agree. Kind of, you got to the point with those trades. It was time to move on from Davante and Aaron, because Davante wasn't going to play for the Packers anymore, man. He was already pissed off, Yeah. It was what it was. So.
Yeah. Ron said got away from Adams' contract as well. And Greg, the only issue is when it's 3rd and long and we could use a real NFL wide receiver 1. I'd push back on that a little, but I get your point, definitely. You want someone that can go, Megatron or Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, beat them. But I do think that we have wide receivers that can do that. It's just you're not calling on them every single 3rd down the same person.
Yeah. All right. That's it, guys. Went over a little bit, but hey, Dennis Shook, thank you for the super chat, buddy. I'm glad we got a chance to look that up, because it feels like it was a lifetime ago, but really it wasn't long ago at all, man. So thanks for bringing that back up, and thanks for supporting the show. Emilio, you got anything else before we wrap up, man?
No, what 2 sleeps, right? Tonight, tomorrow, and we're ready to go, man. It's going to be a good one. Next gen stats, all that stuff. I'm excited to see it. But yeah, it's going to be a big game.
All right, guys, y'all have a wonderful evening. We'll be back tomorrow morning for Good Morning Lambeau. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world, and go Pack.
Thanks for watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content. Created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_access. Go Pack Go. Have a great day.